We're going to start looking at more statistical type of lessons, starting with questions and variables. Statistical questions are answered by collecting many pieces of information or data and summarizing the data. Statistical variables are either categorical, and those will indicate a qualitative attribute. We're going to look at some examples below. Or our statistical value variables can be quantitative, and those are numerical. So look below. What is the statistical variable represented in each of the following questions? And then is it categorical or quantitative? The first question is, what breed of dog is most likely to be adopted from an animal shelter? If I asked you that question, what type of answers are you going to give? Are you going to give categorical or like a numerical answer? I'm asking what breed of dog. And so that's our statistical variable is the breed of dog answers the first part of the question, stating which is the statistical variable. And then we're going to identify, is it categorical or quantitative? Categorical. I would say a Doberman or a Pit Bull or a Boston Terrier or a Lab or, right? I'm going to not give you numbers. I'm going to tell you the types of dogs. So that's categorical. The second question, what is the average number of students per activity participating in after-school activities at Jefferson High School? If I asked you that, what kind of answers are you going to give me? What is the average number of students per activity participating? You're going to tell me a numerical or quantitative. What is that variable that I'm looking for? The average number of students per activity, right? That is going to be our statistical variable, and we've already identified that it is quantitative, or it would be a numerical value that you would give me. So a couple more vocabulary words to add to what we've already discussed. In statistics, the set of all members of a group that you want to know something about is called a population. Next blank here, a sample is a subset of that population that's being studied to answer your statistical question about the population. So if I wanted to know something about the average American, there is no way that I could talk to every American in the United States, right? I would need a sample, but I am trying to get a good proportion of people, so I am representing the population of all of Americans. Another example here, a biology teacher wants to know which dissection his students liked best this semester. So he randomly selects 8 students from each of his 5 classes to participate in a survey. What is the sample in this situation? And what is the population that he is trying to represent with this sample? We were told he has 5 biology classes. His 5 biology classes. Our next vocabulary terms, a parameter. A parameter is a measure that describes the entire population or group of people being studied. So I underlined the P of population to match with parameter so we don't get confused with our next vocabulary term. A statistic. A statistic is a measure that is based on a sample or subgroup chosen from the population. So again, underlining the S of sample to relate back to statistic. So those vocabulary terms go together. A parameter is for the entire population. A statistic is measured just from a sample. Is the given data summary a parameter or statistic? The first one we have there, 53.2% of the district's eligible voters voted for the sitting U.S. House representative. This is an example of a parameter because it is representing the entire population. Similar to my example before, we're trying to represent all of Americans, or we're representing all of the United States, or all of the voters. This is a parameter example. The second one, the median age of a car in 20 randomly selected spaces in a school parking lot is 7 years. This one is a statistic. This may be easier for you to see and identify. They randomly selected 20 cars out of the parking lot, not looking at every car in the parking lot, which would have been the entire population. They just took a small sample, 20 cars out of the parking lot, and came up with the median age of the cars in the school parking lot statistic. And that's our first statistics lesson, mostly vocabulary, identifying the difference between our different statistical variables, categorical or quantitative, distinguishing between populations and samples, and also parameters and statistics. Heavy on the vocabulary, guys. We're also not working in Delta Math. Delta Math doesn't have these particular questions or skills, so we are working in our online textbook. Be sure you refer to the instructions and complete your assignment in our Savas textbook for this lesson. I'll see you in class, guys. Have a great day. Catch you later.